Hello students, this is Mrs. Jones. Today we're talking about paychecks and different ways to be paid. First that you might come across is a regular wage. Now I want to apologize, this worksheet is a little bit old because the minimum wage I'm pretty sure is not $7.25 per hour anymore, but your calculations are done the same way. So to do regular wage, all you would do is you take the hours that the person worked, 32 hours, and you multiply it by their wage per hour. So we would have 32 times 7.25, and that would be $232. Now that is before taxes come out. That's called your gross pay. After taxes come out would be your net pay. You can expect probably about 25% of your paycheck to come out in different kinds of taxes. The next type we're going to talk about is overtime. Now overtime can often be confused. Let's say I'm scheduled to work 32 hours this week and my boss asks me to stay an extra 2 hours. If it's an extra 2 hours, that's not overtime unless I go over 40 hours in a week. So even if I go over my expected number of hours for the day, unless I hit 40 hours in the week, that's not considered overtime. Now, if you work a salary position, there is no such thing as overtime. You could work 80 hours a week and you get your salary pay. Other exclusions to overtime are people that work on a farm. Farmers do not recognize overtime pay. But if you're working at a place like Jody at Green Meadows Personal Care Home, overtime is hours that are over 40 hours a week. Per week. And most of the time you get what's called time and a half. Meaning that you get your regular wage plus you get half of that per hour for those hours. So if Jody's working and she's getting paid $10 an hour, she's getting, for her overtime, she would be getting $10 plus half of that would be $5. She's getting $15 an hour for her overtime hours. Does everybody understand that? So Jody gets her regular pay, $10 an hour, for the first 40 hours that she works. It's $400. And then for her overtime, she worked 47 hours, so she went over by 7 hours. And she gets her time and a half wage. So 15 times 7, 105. So total before taxes is $505. So time and a half is usually what you get for overtime. Now some companies do what they call double time, and a lot of times that is like if you work on Christmas or on a holiday, you would get double your regular wage. So that's overtime. A third way is what's called commission. Now, people that get commission, car dealerships get commission. Have you ever had somebody, a car salesman, come out to you in the parking lot and try to sell you a car? That's because they get commission on that sale. Real estate people get commission on their sale. Commission is a percent of the sale that you would get to keep. Other places that do commission are cosmetologists. If you're ever getting your hair done and they try to sell you a product while you're sitting in the chair, that's because they get commission on that item. If you've ever been in a department store and they said, "Did anybody help you today?" That's because that company or that store runs on commission, and they want to credit your sale with the appropriate salesperson that helped you. But a commission is a percent of sales you get to keep. And I got two examples here. Get to keep. I think I'm going to go down and do this first, or this Chuck. I want to do Chuck first because he's a little bit more straightforward. So Chuck sold $700 in product. He worked 34 hours. Chuck works at Diamond Medical Supply. His basic rate is $8 per hour. And then he receives a 10% commission on his product sales that are over $600. So Chuck's got regular wage going on here. He worked 34 hours at $8 per hour. Okay. He doesn't have any overtime because he didn't go over 40 hours a week here, so there's no overtime, but there is commission. So he sold $700 in product. See that right here? And he gets a 10% commission on his sales that are over $600. So you take 10%, or 0.10, right? And you multiply it by how far he went over the mark. There was an expectation of $600, and he sold $700. So he gets 10% on $100 because that's how much he went over the expectation. So if we add this together, we get $282, and that would be his gross pay before taxes. Okay, let's go back and look at Sandy. Sandy is an example of what they call two-tier commission. She has a wage of $9.50 per hour, and she receives a 15% commission on her sales that are over $500, and then a 20% commission on the sales that are over $800. She worked 36 hours and sold $900 in product. What this reminds me always is when you guys were little and you sold a candy or wrapping paper or something, and you got all those little prizes, and if you met a certain level, you got the prize. And then if you met the second level, you got the second level prize and the first level prize. Do you guys remember that? And that's what this reminds me of all the time. So we've got her regular wage. Her regular wage is $9.50 an hour, and she worked 36 hours. That's $342. And then her commission, the first is 15% on her sales that were over $500. She sold $900 in product. So how far over that expectation did she go? She went $400 over that mark. over that expectation. So that's an extra $60. And then the second tier says that she receives 20% commission on the sales that are over 800. So if the expectation is 800 and she sold 900, she went $100 over that expectation. So that would be another $20 in her pocket. We add all those together. Sandy's gross pay would be $422. All right. We're going to do one more example before we end the video here. And this has all of them put together. So Cameron works at Sephora for $7.20 per hour. He gets time and a half for his overtime, a commission of 10% on his sales that are over $600, and he works 44 hours, sells $7.25 in product. So regular wage first. He gets $7.20 per hour for his first 40 hours of work. Okay. Then he has an overtime that's coming to him. He worked 44 hours, so he has 4 hours of overtime, but the wage, we have to determine what the wage would be. To do that, take your $7.20 in your calculator here. I'm not going to write it down, but take your $7.20 and multiply it by 1.5. Time and a half to get 1.5. So you take your wage times 1.5, and his overtime wage would be $10.80 per hour. Times 4 is $43.20. And then he gets a commission. Let's see what he gets in the commission. It's a 10% on his sales that are over $600. So how far over 600 did he go? He went 125 over, right? So it's a 10%, 0.10, times the 125, because that's how far he went over the expectation. That's $12.50. And we're going to add all those together. $288 plus $43.20 plus $12.50. $343.70 would be his gross pay. I hope this video has helped you understand regular wage, overtime, and commission. Please go back and review it at any point if you need to. Complete the Google quiz. Make sure you hit submit, and then make sure you hit turn in on the Google assignment in the upper right hand corner. Be careful and make sure you're following the directions on the Google quiz, because if it says enter your answers using 2 decimal places and you do not, you're going to get the question wrong. So make sure you're following the directions. Okay? Thank you. If you have any questions, please email me at cjones@ictc.edu. All right? Have a great day. I hope to see you soon. Bye.